Hey guys, Tyler here. Welcome to the Shadow Sniper channel. Uh, it's time for another little week in the news for guns, firearms in the news this week, ending on February 23rd. I've got a few articles here, a few interesting articles. So, in New Jersey, there was who was this guy that said this? Mr. Miller, Brian Miller, executive director of Heeding God's Call. It says pushing for prayer vigils outside firearms stores to increase, to push for gun control. And he said that anyone who owns a magazine holding over 10 rounds is a domestic terrorist or a gangster. 17-rounder. Check my criminal record. I'm neither a domestic terrorist nor a gangster. At the worst, you will find, I believe, a speeding ticket and a ticket for failure to maintain control of my vehicle. So there is that. And I also have a stack of 30-rounders for my AR in the closet. So, Mr. Miller, I apologize, but you're wrong. And it's people like this who just have no. I mean, I'm sure Mr. Miller has no background with firearms. It doesn't say specifically in the article, but I'm sure he has no background with firearms. And if you notice, the people that push for gun control are people with no history, no background, and no knowledge of firearms. That's why they come up with these nonsensical ideas. Have you seen the crazy buttstock that they made for an AR-15? That allows you to shoot it so you can have it in New Jersey or wherever, Connecticut or wherever the law was passed that you're not supposed to have them anymore. Some kind of crazy buttstock, and they designed this thing specifically because it bypasses all the laws. I mean, it's an AR-15 that's exactly like my AR-15 that I own here in West Virginia, where we allow you to have anything. But it's designed in such a way that you could have it in a banned state. And it's because these people have no idea anything about a firearm. There's the famous interview with the lady that the guy says, "You have out here outlawed barrel shrouds. What's a barrel shroud?" And she's like, "I don't know. It's not important." And he's like, "No, what's a barrel shroud?" She goes, "It's the shoulder thing that goes up. I'm not sure." And his point was, he knew about guns, and his point was, what does a barrel shroud? How does a barrel shroud make a gun more lethal? And the answer is, it doesn't. I mean, unless you're walking around holding the barrel of your gun, you know. But it looks scary. The bayonet lugs. Why is a bayonet lug illegal? I have a bayonet lug on my AR. I don't go around trying to stab people with a bayonet. Pistol grips. Why is a pistol grip? You have to do with anything. SKSs have regular stocks on them. They're still a semi-automatic firearm that can be converted to be a box-fed magazine. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Let's just... you have no business making laws about something you know nothing about. I'm not a chemist. I don't go around trying to say like the new drugs that the pharmaceutical companies come out with should be illegal, because I don't know anything about them. They go through all this testing and trials and stuff before they can find out if they're legal. It's a proven fact that where gun ownership increases, crime goes down. That's our pharmaceutical trial. It's been proven, and it's a repeatable process. Science says that a fact is something that, it's not a fact until I can produce a result, and then you can try the same thing and produce the same result. Well, without fail, every time somewhere introduces a concealed carry permit or gun sales go up, crime goes down. That's a repeatable result, so a fact that an increase in concealed weapons permits and gun sales equals a decrease in crime. Now, also in the news, I know that you're already aware of the micro-stamping in California. The whole scandal with, they say that a gun should be micro-stamped so that you can tell what gun fired what casing and all this stuff. And there's been all kinds of tests to prove that it's completely irrelevant, and that even if you sold guns with micro-stamping technology on them, it only takes a few hundred shots for the micro-stamping to wear off, and you can't prove anything anymore. And if you wanted to, you could buy a brand new gun with micro stamping technology and go in with a file and damage it, and it would be worthless. That's not the point. The point is not to stop gun crime. The point is to stop the sale of guns, and it's working. Smith & Wesson and Ruger already pulled out of the state of California because California changed the law so that it used to be that any new gun that you designed had to be micro-stamped. Now it's any gun that you change anything about, no matter how small, whether it's a metallurgical mixture in the firing pin, or whether it's the grip material, or the sights that are on the gun. Any small change, no matter how insignificant, you now have to micro-stamp the gun. So there's a bigger version of that going on, and I think it was in New Jersey. I don't have the article up right now, but I'm pretty sure it was in New Jersey, where they passed a law several years ago that said as soon as smart gun technology, which is a gun that can only be fired by its owner, as soon as smart gun technology becomes available, the state of New Jersey has like 5 years, and then every gun sold in New Jersey has to be a smart gun. Well, the first smart gun just went on sale in California. It's a .22 pistol that costs $1,400. $1,400, and it works because when you fire the pistol, it only fires if it's in the proximity of a watch that has a little transmitter in it that allows the gun to work. The watch, by the way, is sold separately for an additional $300. So for a .22 semi-automatic smart pistol, $1,700. $1,700. And, a lot of people take their watches off when they get in the shower or when they go to bed. I mean, I wear my watch to bed, but a lot of people take their watches off when they go to bed. If you go swimming, you take your watch off. Anything crazy could happen. What if let's just say, for instance, that hypothetically that I'm married with a kid, and I get in the shower and I take my watch off and I get in the shower, and while I'm in the shower, somebody breaks in the house. I jump out of the shower, and my wife has my pistol, and she's trying to shoot this attacker, but she can't shoot it because she's not wearing the watch. So I run over and take it from her and try to shoot him, but then I realize that I took my watch off because I was taking a shower, and now we're all dead. My entire family's dead because of smart technology. Smart technology is not new. It's been around since the 70s. You can look up articles about it where the original design was a magnetic ring that when the magnet had to be in contact with the gun, and that would release a block that would allow the gun to fire. But it had to be on the firing hand. So if you're right-handed, holding the gun in your right hand, and you get hurt, or for some reason you have to use your left hand, you have to stop and take the ring off your right hand and put it on the left hand to shoot. There was an RFID chip, the little microchip, basically, that would broadcast a signal. I think it was in a ring or a bracelet or something too, and it would broadcast a signal to the pistol. And it was great. It had they were like, oh, well, the battery life in this thing is that you ran on batteries, obviously. And it was like, oh, it lasts 5 years. It lasted 5 years if you never used it. See, it had to send a signal every time you pulled the trigger to allow the gun to fire. So if you shot it, then it had about an 8-hour battery life or something like that. So you know how batteries are, always dying. So it's just, they also did biometrics scanners that read your handprint or fingerprints. And if you ever use any fingerprint technology, even I was talking to my friend Chuck about it, who's been in a video or two that I've talked about him, but he has one of the laptops that you swipe your finger on to unlock. And he said even that, as simple as that is, sometimes he has to swipe his finger across it 3 or 4 times to get it to unlock, to get it to recognize his finger. So until we have some crazy like Judge Dredd stuff where it reads your DNA, it's never gonna be reliable. And even then, there'll probably be something where if you're your wife gets killed or something, and or gets hurt, and you're trying to help her out, you get her blood on your hands, and you pick up your pistol, and now her blood is in contact with the gun, so it reads their own DNA, and it won't work. Like it's just smart technology. Firearms have been around for hundreds and hundreds of years in essentially the same form, and it works. Stop messing with it, okay? If all these people that are out there trying to develop smart guns and people that are worried about smart guns, go find an alternative energy source so that we don't have to pay for gasoline anymore. Go ahead and do that. A good one. And the truth of the matter is, well, we won't get into that. But that's about all I've got for you for this week's episode. I'll try to find some more stuff and be back with you next week. There's not a lot of stuff going on. I mean, here in West Virginia, we got some legislative stuff going through, but it's kind of in the in-between stages right now. So there you go, guys. If any of you see anything that you think needs to be brought to people's attention, feel free to shoot it to me in a message or leave it in a comment. I'll check it out, and we'll see if it can get it in next week's episode. Thanks for watching, guys. Remember, this is America, and it's your freedom.